I personally think that Anthony Joshua is going to be ready for Usyk. I think AJ is easily going to hang with this guy. I can't wait to see this one. And I have backed AJ all the way. I continue to back AJ on this. Now, Usyk fighting AJ, to me, is kind of maybe 65 to 35 in favor of AJ, in my opinion. Anthony Joshua has the ability to rise to the challenge of whoever it is he's fighting. My God, what can I say? We've got to give Alexander Usyk credit here, because what we witnessed was a pure boxing masterclass. He dealt with Anthony Joshua at every point. He outclassed him, he outboxed him, he beat him up. He dealt with Anthony Joshua. Full credit to Alexander Usyk for a fantastic performance and a well-deserved win. There was a couple of things that made me feel a bit uncomfortable leading up to the main event. And the first thing that made me feel uncomfortable was the result of the Campbell-Hatton fight. For those of you who watched the whole card, I'm sorry, but that was a very suspicious decision, because for me, Campbell-Hatton lost all 6 of those rounds, but yet he got the result. So now when it gets to the main event and we're sitting here watching this pretty much one-sided beatdown of Anthony Joshua, and we're here getting ready to hear the results, there was a moment where I thought, please God, let the man who deserves to win this one, because if I hear and still, then mate, it would have been an absolute disaster for British boxing, and it would have been a disaster for boxing as a whole. But as much as I was disappointed for Anthony Joshua to lose, I was pleased that the correct order of things remained the same and the rightful winner was announced. Now, Alexander Usyk's performance was typical Alexander Usyk. For those of you who haven't seen Alexander Usyk before and who are relatively unfamiliar with his style of fighting, I think I said in my previous video, 2 fights to watch. Even if you watched one of them, you would have got a good idea of how good he actually is. And for him to have done that with so much ease, it makes you wonder how much more is yet to come from him. So I have said this in a few previous videos, that the heavyweight division is still very much wide open, and these are the kind of results that you can expect along the way. We don't know what's going to happen. And now the question is no longer, can Fury beat AJ? Can AJ beat Fury? Now all of these questions are being cast into doubt. New questions are being risen. And all of these questions are justified when it comes to Anthony Joshua right now. But they're not going to be answered as yet. Because until he has the rematch, and until Alexander Usyk beats him for a second time, those questions are just going to remain questions for now. But personally, in my personal opinion, if Anthony Joshua comes back and defeats Alexander Usyk in the second fight, I'm going to be very surprised, and I'm going to be very, very impressed. Because based on what we all saw there, you would think that maybe this isn't going to be likely the case. Now, when he lost to Andy Ruiz, I would say that he made a whole bundle of mistakes. He stood up in front of Andy Ruiz and tried to trade with him and go toe to toe, and it was a big mistake, and that's how he ended up getting chinned. The way he fought Andy Ruiz in the second fight is the way he should have fought him in the first fight to some degree, maybe beating him up a bit more. But this loss is nothing like that. This loss is absolutely nothing like his loss to Andy Ruiz. This time, he was completely swept aside. Anthony Joshua got dealt with by a superior boxer. So the one thing I've always respected about AJ is his mindset. But leading into this fight, in the weigh-in and the interviews beforehand and his ring walk and everything, I felt like he was overly confident. I felt he was just a bit too confident. The way he was suggesting that this was just another sparring match. You're gonna see all the things I've been doing and all I've been working on, and it's just a bit like, he's a very confident man, but he just seemed, maybe he was taking Usyk a little bit too lightly. I don't know. That's what I got from that. But I will always respect Anthony Joshua for everything that he has achieved thus far. He's one of the only heavyweights who's been willing to fight any and every challenger. And who knows? There could be some other heavyweights who would be willing to swerve Alexander Usyk, because he could just be all wrong for everybody. But we do in fact have a new unified heavyweight champion of the world, and I for one think that he is well deserved of that win. And I was a bit confused because out of those 12 rounds, I gave Anthony Joshua the 6th and the 7th. I expected him to come out in the 8th and impose himself. to really try and start to turn the screw, but he didn't. He just seemed to be very much overly cautious. There's some criticisms flying around about his corner, and listening in on the corner, they were just telling him, I mean, it's like round 10 and you're telling him to stay behind the jab, to keep working the jab. I mean, at what point do you do a Tunde and just say, go in there, empty the tank, give it everything you got? I mean, what would he have had to lose? Honestly, what would he have had to lose? So we have to wonder what his corner was doing, and we also have to wonder why Anthony Joshua was so overly cautious. And to be honest with you, I think it is a testament to the work that Alexander put in, because Alexander Usyk, like I said previously, is all about mental pressure. He will just slowly drain the energy out of you with continuous pressure, and you guys all saw it. You guys all witnessed the exact same thing. And I don't know what Eddie Hearn was talking about, that he had Anthony Joshua up by the 9th round. I don't know what fight he was watching. He must have had on those Adelaide bird glasses. I don't know. But hey, the fact of the matter is, we're going to have to wait and see what happens in the rematch. I'm going with Usyk for the rematch. However, Anthony Joshua has been written off before when we saw him take a severe beating and he managed to come back. But I think this time could be a little bit different. We can't take away from his achievements. He's still a fantastic representative of Great Britain. He's a great role model for our kids, and I would like to see him fight on. I don't know if he can beat Fury. Maybe they will fight eventually, just purely for bragging rights, but who knows what's going to unfold. But anyway, people, this is the Boxing Objective. Peace.